My name is Lisa, and this is the second part to my milk jug reveal. I did about 20 something minutes in an earlier video, and apparently the conductivity was poor, so we restarted it. And I have nobody watching, and that's okay. So we were talking about cantaloupe, I think, and I was going to tell you about my secret garden thing that I've been doing in this new vegetable bed. So basically, I have constructed it from grass that was dug out of the flower beds I made. Then I added seaweed from local beaches, and then I added kitchen waste. So what's in my kitchen waste primarily is actually tea bags. I don't drink a ton of coffee. Once in a while, it's mostly tea. And there's been times when I have 9 cups of tea in a day, I'm not gonna lie. It's happened on many occasions. And I use tea bags. I don't use very often the loose leaf tea, once in a while, but not very often. So they all end up in my vegetable garden. And the other thing I have a ton of is eggshells. I eat eggs almost every single day, sometimes twice a day. And those end up in here too. And they are all going, for the most part, into this brand new vegetable bed. And then I have one little secret, and that is I'm trying very, very hard to grow cantaloupe. I could never, once I grew it in my old property, only once, and it was okay, but not great. But I have a feeling this garden is going to be better for growing melons than ever before. I did grow watermelon a couple times on my old property before YouTube. That turned out well, but usually watermelon was a challenge. This is a very, very hot vegetable garden. I can tell you that right now. Much hotter than my last garden. And the moisture level seems overall to be better, so we're trying again. And what I've been doing is I've been buying cantaloupes for the sole purpose of, you take out the center, which is full of seeds and pulp, and then you cut off the little pieces of skin, and I've purposely been buying them to put them into this garden. So when I eat the cantaloupe, I save all the remnants, all the seeds, all the pulps, all the little skins. I don't necessarily put them into the compost. I directly put them into this vegetable garden, and I've been burying them. So I think I'm on to my 3rd or 4th cantaloupe now. I'm going to continue doing that until this is all planted up, as well as adding other stuff into here. But my hope is that some cantaloupe is going to self-seed into this brand new vegetable garden. So fingers crossed that it works out. I know when my parents first bought their property they took away their vegetable garden, but that's beside the point. There was cantaloupe that self-seeded in their garden. So I'm hoping I can do the same thing here. That would be super awesome. And 22 people are watching. That is wild. So anyways, that is the plan for cantaloupe. So let's go on to another fruit or vegetable. And next we have, for all the sunflower lovers, hello, DT, King Jules, all kinds of people here. We have sunflower vanilla ice. This is so exciting, and I have peeked. I know there's a sprout in here, or 2 or 3. But let's take a look and see how they're doing. Holy smokers. I am kind of surprised. This is better than I expected it to be. I have a lot of work on my hands. Elva Hacken. I might be saying it wrong. I'm so sorry, but that is my shout out to you. Look at my sunflowers. Holy smokers. I have a lot of work. I'm going to count them. Give you a rough estimate. I'd say there's at least 30 in here. There could be 40, which is kind of crazy. I am going to have a lot of sunflowers, and I'm not complaining. Sunflowers are so beautiful. The bees love them, and the birds love them, and I love them, and they're awesome in bouquets. So fun. we have more. I have to reach a little further back because I'm getting further from the camera and the sun is over here. So I'm just gonna move myself a little bit and come and get another milk jug to show you. I've got quite a collection of milk jugs surrounding me now. They're kind of here, there, and everywhere, and I'm knocking down my water bottle often. Let's see here. Oh dear. Next, we have nasturtiums. These are seeds from my last property that I didn't get planted there. This one is called Black Velvet. So let's see how it's doing. And if you're wondering what that looks like, think of a deep, rich, dark red, like almost reddish black. And that's kind of the color of what this flower is going to look like. Check it out. I do have 2 lush plants already and 2 more sprouts. I don't know if you can see that. Let me go this way. I can't see that well. There's glare from the sun coming right at me, so I have very limited vision of what the screen is picking up. Hopefully it's being portrayed well on the camera. I really don't know. 2 good-sized plants and 2 more sprouts coming. I'm pretty sure there's more than that going to grow here, but I don't see them yet. So 4 for sure. And that is so fun. If you're unfamiliar with nasturtiums, one of my favorite garden flowers, not for bouquets, but for eating. The greens are edible. They have a very spicy taste. If you think of what arugula tastes like, it's similar to arugula with the taste. And you can also eat the flowers. If you want to make a beautiful salad with edible flowers, for the summertime, nasturtiums are edible. If you've been around this channel for a while, or maybe you're brand new, welcome. Edible flowers are my specialty. I love edible flowers. I started doing a series on them, I want to say 2 years ago, when I started discovering that flowers are edible. There are so many edible flowers out there. Sunflowers are edible. Pansies and violas are edible. Tulips are edible. Chive flowers are edible. Rosemary flowers. Sunflowers. You can eat the entire sunflower head. I've done a video on that. There are so many edible flowers out there, and that is kind of the direction I am taking my YouTube channel, is to talk more about edible flowers. And something I would like to do that I haven't actually been able to find information on, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, is to learn more about the nutritional benefits of edible flowers. I think that is super fascinating. I'm not a dietitian by any means, but I do have a health background, and I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. And this is super fascinating. People may not know this about edible flowers. Roses are edible. I did a series on taste testing roses at my old property. And the one thing that fascinates me about roses is that different flowers have completely different tastes. And that is not the same for all edible flowers. We're so on a tangent, but that's okay. Pansies in particular, you can get all the different pansy flower colors and patterns. And from my experience, they all taste the same, but roses are not like that. Roses have very different flavors. So on this brand new property here, I can give you a little look if you're new to the channel. I bought a 9,000 square foot property last fall. It's all re-landscaped and completely renovated with new plants and new beds, and there are lots of roses. So my plan is to do some more flower taste testing this summer and taste test the different varieties of roses. So I think that would be super fun. And we have a few more milk jugs to cover. Actually, more than a few. I kind of underestimated how many. I have to go get them. So this one, this is, what is it? White borer squash. So I planted in my last property a few different varieties of white squash or white pumpkin. Now, what the label says is squash, but to me they're just pumpkins. And for some strange reason, my white pumpkins grew much better than my orange ones. And they taste delicious. You can call them squash, you can call them pumpkins, but they look like pumpkins even if they're labeled squash. They taste like pumpkins, so I'm calling them pumpkin. And there's different varieties of white ones, but this is white borer squash, which is basically a pumpkin. And yes, I have a sprout, a very lush looking sprout, and that makes me super excited. I love pumpkin so much. And we have more. I think I'm gonna move the camera actually. I have a whole collection of duct tape I need to deal with a little later. We're gonna move, let's call it south, down the garden a little, because I have all the ones at the top that you haven't seen yet. So we're gonna go on a little field trip down the garden path. This live stream is turning out much longer than I kind of anticipated. I didn't realize how many milk jugs I had created, so we're gonna be here for a while. If you have some water, stay hydrated, have a cup of tea, a drink of something refreshing, lemonade. If you're interested, and if not, have a lovely day, evening, or night whenever you go and on your merry way. Oh my, I have 12 more that we haven't even seen yet. That is incredible. Okay, so what is this? It is open. And I can't read, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to read that label. What does it say? And this is all my writing. It's just rubbed off. I don't know, but it's empty, so at this point it doesn't matter. Whatever it was, it didn't sprout yet. Next, we have, I believe this is some kind of tomato, if I'm not mistaken. And there are sprouts, but they're very tiny still. So this is kind of disturbing to me because it is almost time to plant tomatoes, and these are so tiny. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them in my garden, but I don't know if you can see, there are sprouts. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to say 5 or 6 in here. Not a ton and so tiny. I might end up buying starter plants, but we'll see how big they get. Not looking promising for tomatoes. It's not that I can't use them, but our growing season on Vancouver Island isn't long enough if you have plants that are this tiny in the end of April to actually get ripe tomatoes by like September-ish. So that's why it's concerning, unfortunately. But sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see how the weather goes. So next we have, what do we have? I believe these are pansies if I'm not mistaken. I don't see the label, but I see what's in them, and I remember what I planted. So I'm pretty sure these are pansies. Now, in some ways, pansy season is coming to a close, but given that these are all brand new plants, and I'm going to water them thoroughly, I can probably get pansy season to last a little longer. And let me tell you, we have sprouts. Do we ever have sprouts in here? I don't know if I can open it. Look at that. That is like, I don't know if the camera's capturing it, but it's a lot. I'm going to say 40, 50, maybe 80. I don't know. There are a ton of pansy sprouts. I'm not surprised. My last garden was full of pansies in the spring. I had a rock garden on my last property that I created. And I had started with 6 starter plants and I want to say 1 or 2 seed packages of pansies, and they went throughout the entire rock garden. They self-seeded. So beautiful in the spring. So pansies are super, super duper easy to grow. I would have just put them into my gravel, hey Latin, here, but at the time when I had created, or when we had created this rocky garden here, it was almost too late into the spring to get them going with the amount of water and the temperatures and everything. I figured the milk jug was a safer way to start them, and it has worked out so far. So We'll see how the transplanting goes. It's a little soon to transplant them, but pretty soon they will go into the raw garden somewhere. And next we have marigolds. Let's see how they are doing. Now, I would be so over the moon excited if one of the kitty cats shows up. I don't have a cat. If anyone thinks I do, I don't. But there have been 2 cats that have come to me from the neighborhood in recent times. And they've been hanging out with me, and I am loving it. But they don't usually come to this part of the garden. They usually come to my ugly garden, which isn't really a garden. And yes, thank you, Latin. I haven't been live in a while, but I decided to try it again. And I would be so excited if one of the kitty cats showed up here. I suspect if they show up, they're going to go away where I'm not on live stream, but I'd be happy if they did. And if they do, I will show them to you live. Okay, so this is marigolds. And check it out, there are definitely marigold sprouts. I don't know if you can see that. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we have 7 in here. So that is so exciting. I think this is the marigold that I started called Sparkle, which is, I want to say it's a smaller version of a marigold. I've had some that are like 2, 3 feet tall, which are like giants, which is crazy. Do you live in the same area still? Slower, please. Am I talking too fast, or is it the what do you call it? Like the rate of the refreshing in the YouTube world? I don't even know what that's called. Frame rate or something. I'll try to go slower. I haven't slower to show the sprouts. Oh, okay, I get it. I'll slow down. I still get a little bit of stage fright when I do the live streams. It's been this is the 4th year of YouTube, and I still get nervous when I turn on the camera, whether it's for live stream or for even making videos. When I don't make a video for a while, I still get nervous. I have no reason to be nervous after this is like the 4th year. I should be a pro by now, but I still feel anxious. And that's why I start talking super fast sometimes. It's the anxiety that kicks in. You'll get more comfortable if you watch the replays. Sometimes I watch them, sometimes I don't. And what's really funny about YouTube, I haven't told a lot of people this, but when I started making videos, I make 99% of videos on my phone, and it's always been that way. I don't have the skills to use the camera and turn that into a YouTube video. I don't know how physically, the technology, I don't have the skills. But I made videos for over a year and never watched them on a TV or computer. And the first time I put my own video on the computer, I was like, holy crap. Like, it was so weird to me to see myself on the big screen. So that was really weird. Now, once in a while, I do watch the videos on my computer just to see what they look like, because it's so different when you film and you create the videos on a little tiny screen, and then you see them in a big picture and they're blown up, and it like blows your mind sometimes. But you should take a class at a college or adult school. I could. Yeah, maybe I should. I would love to get better at filmmaking, but I work full-time, and this is not my job. I wish it was my job, but it is not. I wouldn't really have the time, as much as I would love to do filmmaking and make that like my full-time thing. I don't have the time to learn how to do it more. I work so much in my regular job, and it is what it is. It would be nice to become a better filmmaker. I am so passionate about making videos. I make TikTok videos too. It's kind of a thing I got into a little while ago, and I love it. It's really a creative process. I don't make any money on TikTok, but I make a tiny bit of money on YouTube, and obviously I couldn't have that as my job, but it would be amazing if that was possible. Take a class at a local college or adult school. Hello. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe one day something will change, but for now, it's just a fun little pastime. So we have Asters in here. And I'll go slower for you, Latin. There's nothing in there. There's nothing to observe too carefully. They either haven't sprouted or aren't going to sprout. I tried so hard to grow asters at my last property and I couldn't grow them. I didn't try in milk jugs. I tried in the ground, but I had zero success. So we're trying again, but I'm not optimistic given that I have no sprouts and those were started a while ago. So I might just not be an aster grower. That's okay. Next we have Savory. Savory is a herb. And this was actually planted not very long ago, so I don't expect much. And there's nothing in here, and I'm not surprised. I think it's still too soon. If it's going to grow, it needs more time. That was probably only planted a week or two ago. Some of these were like 2 months ago, and other ones were just like very recent. So next we have, oh, the writing again. My writing is really, okay. I can't see what it is, but I know when I reveal it, you will know if you're into gardening, and I have an idea what it is based on what the plant looks like. So all of the gardeners will know exactly what this is or have an idea. It is either squash or pumpkin. I think it is pumpkin. This might be, I can't actually see what my writing says, but I suspect this is an orange pumpkin from the dollar store that I planted. I wanted to try orange again because I haven't had a ton of luck with orange pumpkins. I did grow some pumpkin Big Macs. The year I tried to grow pumpkin Big Macs, I did get pumpkins. Not huge, but orange pumpkins. And the weird thing was they rotted in my last vegetable garden before I could even pick them. They were orange on the stem. They didn't look ripe. And then one day I just went to touch. I think, Aster, you should do chaos gardening style and do not cover with soil. Well, that's what I tried at my last property. Just like, that's my normal way of seed starting. Didn't work, but I could try it again here. Maybe it's different. I don't know. And you asked about my location. I'm in the same city that I used to live in, just a completely different area. Like, I used to live far south, and now I live more in the center of this city. So it's totally different growing environment and just a general location, but still on Vancouver Island, still in the same city, just different spot. So that is location. Next, we are doing, what are we doing? Did we do this? I think we did that already. I think that was a pansy. I talked about that already. We are doing Snapdragons next. Now, I have not peeked in these, and these were ones that I started late, so I don't expect much. And there's nothing. You don't have to squint. There's nothing there yet, so that's okay. It's probably still early. And next we have petunias. These were also started quite late, so I'm not expecting much. Like, I want to say a week and a half ago I did my last batch of these milk jugs. So most seeds need more than a week and a half to sprout, and I am not surprised that there is nothing in here yet. That's okay. I'm really hoping for petunias to work out. I have never grown them from seed, and I think they will be a beautiful splash of color in my exterior, what I call the rock garden, in the mulch area. I want to put them, if you've seen some of my recent videos, I did some rock art where I wrote "Grow Love" in rocks. And what I want to do actually is put some annuals into the lettering of my little "Grow Love" little slogan. So I was hoping to put some colorful ones like petunias, alyssum. I think it could be so beautiful. And then I have the two hearts. Actually, I have three hearts, but two that are kind of opposite each other in that garden. And my idea for that is to do kind of something similar. I might do a solid color of pink or red. It might be too early. Don't give up. I thought my seeds would not sprout even though I planted 3 weeks ago and now they're growing. You're right. A lot of this might still be too early and I'm not going to give up on them yet. I'm going to give it maybe a month at the most and just see what happens. Yeah, I do think you could be right about that. That's happened to me before where I'm like, oh, there's nothing here. And then I don't put them in the ground. And then 2 weeks later, there's something in the milk jug. So you never know. Yeah, too early. So with the little letters and the hearts, I think the hearts would be fun to have like a solid color, whether that's petunias, to have like pinks and reds, maybe some purples. Or I could do alyssum, do white hearts. White is fine, but given that it's a heart, I feel like we need some color there. And I want it to be kind of low to medium height, not super tall. So I'm thinking some annuals like the petunias that I have hopefully going to grow in the milk jugs would be perfect for putting in those hearts. And then I do have some other secret things I've already done to my third heart, the one that was the mystery, but it was the flower bed that I wanted that I didn't tell my dad about, that I didn't make, and then all of a sudden he made a heart flower bed for me. And I have lavender growing there, and I just recently transplanted lupins that I grew not in milk jugs, but in a container over here. They're tiny, tiny little lupins. I planted them beside my lavenders. So if everything works out in the way that I want it to, I'll have the lavender purple color of the flowers, and then my lupins will either be purple or pink. So that'll be so pretty to have a whole heart-shaped flower bed of pink and purple blooming in the summertime. I think it's going to be just lovely. And then in that flower bed, alpine strawberries. Yes, I have some I brought from my last property in the vegetable garden. I love alpine strawberries. I also planted alyssum seeds out in that heart where the lavender and the lupins are. I think it will be so pretty if it all comes together. There's never a guarantee with seeds, you just don't know, but hopefully it'll come together. Next we have, this is, oh, what? It's tomato, but I'm so confused now because I think I showed you tomato already. So I planted more tomato than I thought I planted, which is fine. And there are definitely things growing in here. Make me want to go finish planting more seeds. Power to you, Latin. Go plant those seeds. I'm a big advocate for seed planting, and I'm also a big advocate for guerrilla gardening. I know he's not here right now, but Howie from Food Forest Permaculture sometimes comes on my live streams. He's a very big, dedicated viewer of my channel. Totally love Howie from Victoria, British Columbia. He is into permaculture in a huge way. He has a food forest in his backyard that's like 10 or more years old. And anyways, he is just so into seed starting and guerrilla gardening. He is like the king of guerrilla gardening. So if you don't know what guerrilla gardening is, if you're new to gardening or you haven't heard the term, guerrilla gardening is basically when you go into an area that isn't technically your property, whether it's like the perimeter of your property or you walk around your neighborhood and find like a vacant lot, or you walk in a city park and you see some soil that doesn't look like there's anything growing in it, or some bark mulch, and you just happen to have some seed packages with you and you just nonchalant open the seed package and just dump the seeds, you know, into a property that you don't own. That is what guerrilla gardening is, and he takes it to a whole new level. He actually plants trees on city property, and I am so for that. He is like a earth warrior, and I just admire that so much. I have done the seeds before, I'm not gonna lie. I have put seeds in places that technically I'm not supposed to put seeds, but I have never planted trees in that fashion, and I just admire that spark, that energy of like going out and doing something a little bit a little bit naughty in society, but it's for the good of Mother Earth. I hope you get a new dog. Well, that's not in the cards for me right now. If I do get a pet in the future, it will be a cat and not a dog. But I am not looking for a pet right now. Right now, I'm doing something very unconventional and trying to attract other people's pets to my house. So basically, I don't have the full responsibility of owning a pet, but I still get the love that animals have to offer. Like that kitty cat. I don't know if you were around Latin. I did not know there was a name for it. Yes, there is. But there was you might not have seen these videos, but a few months ago it was like a month ago ish. A cat after work. I came home from work. This might be repetitive for people who've been around for a while, but I'll tell you the story. And there was a cat waiting for me right outside my gate. And I'd never seen this cat before. I'm not a cat person. I've never had a cat. Just came out of nowhere and like followed me through my gate to my front door and was like meowing at the front door. Like, aren't you going to open the door and let me in? I was like, okay, kitty, you must be lost. I'll help you find your way. It was after 11 because I was working evenings. So it was like 11 something. I got home. I was so tired from work. I was like, okay, well, I'll help this cat find its home in the morning. Comes into my house. And I swear that cat had been there before. Like, it looked like it was walking around the house like it owned the place. And I was like, excuse me? What are you doing in my house? I couldn't understand why this cat was in my house, but it was the sweetest little kitty, and it was very human-like. Like, I thought of this cat as like a dog. Like, I think of my old dog, and like Latin knows, she's been around for a while, or other viewers who have been around for a while. My old dog was very a person dog, like very like clingy, like, you know, very sweet, very cuddly, very, well, not so much cuddly, but very attached to the human, and that's how this cat was acting towards me. And I had never met this cat. I didn't know the cat's name. I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl at the time. I just had this cat wandering around my house like it was its own place. Jumped on my table, jumped on the counter, and even more weird, followed me into my bedroom. And I was like, kitty, you're not sleeping with me. I don't sleep with strangers. That is weird. And lo and behold, I put out a lovely blanket for the kitty to sleep on at the foot of my bed. And did the kitty sleep there? No, the kitty had to come in bed with me. That's how it happened. And it was interesting. It was a very interesting experience. Kitty also followed me into the bathroom and jumped on the toilet. I was wondering if the kitty was toilet trained. Maybe it was. The lid was closed. So maybe if the lid was open, maybe it would have done its business on the toilet. I don't know. But then I was running the bath water because I like to have a bath after work. And then Kitty tried to jump in the tub multiple times. And I was like, Kitty, no, we are not having a bath together. That is like too weird for me. I don't even know who you are. I don't know if you're a girl or a boy. You just show up on my doorstep and you want to have a bath with me. Like, we're getting way too close too fast. So, but I have to say the kitty won me over. So if I do get a pet, it will be a kitty. But I don't really want a pet right now. Not yet. Maybe in a while, but not yet. So that is the story of the cat. So that kitty's name is Gregory. I learned there's more to this story. I'm not going to say the whole story because it's way too long and I've already taken up so much time. But anyways, the kitty lives a few blocks away. His name is Grayson, not Gregory. And he has chosen ones in the neighborhood that he spends time with. So apparently I am a chosen one for this kitty. And it will randomly show up, usually in the evening, and spend 12 hours with people in the neighborhood. And there's only a few select houses that it stays at, and I got selected by the kitty. So, and the kitty is well taken care of. It has a very loving home, a great family. It is not neglected. So that is Grayson's story. And now there's a second kitty that's been visiting me, and I don't know the gender, and I don't know where the home is or if it has a home. I suspect it does. It doesn't look skinny. It looks a little bit rotund. And it's been hanging out with me by my waste bins mostly. Sometimes it comes to my side yard. Has not ventured this way that I'm aware of, and doesn't know about the cat garden I'm making. It's a little bit skittish, but we're working on befriending each other. So that is kitty number 2 that's been coming around. Kitty number 2 has not been inside my house, but he just, I'm saying he, it could be a she, I don't really know, but the kitty is just kind of an outside meandering around, loves to take naps in my little ugly area of the garden. Did I feed it? I didn't. Oh, what do I feed it? I haven't fed the cats. So the cat Grayson that came into my house, the only thing, I didn't have cat food. I didn't even know what a cat ate at the time. Like, I have zero cat knowledge. I've never had a pet cat. The only thing I knew about cats is that they'll drink milk. So I didn't feed or give, I'm kind of cruel. I didn't give any beverages or drink or food to the cat until the morning after we had our sleepover. And then in the morning, I thought I'd better feed this cat or give it something to drink because it's an animal and I care about animals. So I just poured milk. I took a little bowl out of my cupboard and started pouring milk, and Kitty jumped onto my counter where I was pouring the milk and started drinking immediately. But I didn't know what to feed the cat because I never had a cat and I never thought to ask Google. I should have just Googled it. But what I did was I made my breakfast and I decided to have some raisin toast and eggs, as I often do. And Kitty jumped on the table and almost tried to start eating off my plate. And I was like, do cats eat raisins? Because I don't know. I know dogs aren't supposed to eat raisins. So I was making sure Kitty didn't eat off my plate, but Kitty really wanted to steal the food from my plate. So yeah, there was that. However, I have to say, after that experience with Grayson, Kitty number 1, I did buy some cat treats and the cats have not eaten them yet. I haven't opened the package, but I just bought them just in case I need to feed a kitty. I have one package of, I think they're called Temptations, and they're the kitten formula. I know there's not kittens here. Well, I shouldn't say that. There could be kittens, but to me, cat, kitty, they're all kind of the same thing. I don't remember what flavor I got, but I do, just in case. I didn't buy a litter box because technically I don't own a cat yet. If Grayson comes for more regular sleepovers, I may get a litter box just in case, but for now, there's no litter box. So to answer your question, I didn't feed the kitty, I only gave it milk. And I'm trying to see if I have any more milk jugs. I think we talked about the tomatoes. This was my second batch of tomatoes that I didn't know I planted. And they're tiny, just like the first batch I showed you. So in our growing zone, it's probably too small for them to work out. I may have to buy starter plants if I want to grow tomatoes here because the seedlings are so tiny still. So that's the story of my milk jugs. There were a lot. I'm going to say there might have been 30. I didn't count them. Maybe 40. I don't know. 2 live streams worth, and we're at 37 minutes. My first live stream was 22 minutes, I want to say. Definitely didn't plan on making a live stream this long. I thought, oh yeah, maybe 20 minutes or so. No, that's not what happened. So thank you, Latin, for staying for 2 live streams. You are a lovely, lovely lady. Haven't seen you in a while. But I have to say, I haven't really been on YouTube as much because I do make TikTok videos and I've been kind of getting more into just the TikTok vibe. I kind of like it over there. Not that I don't love YouTube. I still love YouTube, and the dedicated viewers on YouTube and the community of YouTube is amazing, amazing, amazing. But that being said, I'm a content creator on TikTok too, and I have lots of videos over there. And I have created a little tiny community on TikTok that is totally different than my YouTube community, like different types of people, but then again my content is different there too, so it kind of just goes with the flow. But there is a great community probably on all social media platforms, I would assume, just different. It's different types of content, it's different people, you know, it's worldwide. It's fun to meet new people from different places, have different experiences. Have you linked your TikTok on YouTube? I recently linked it. I think it's at the top of the channel thing. I used to have my Facebook linked, but the thing with Facebook is I made a little Facebook page for my YouTube channel and I hate it. I hate everything about it. I never liked it. I don't like the layout of the page. I just don't like it, and I want to delete it, but I don't know how, so it's kind of stuck in cyberspace, this ugly little page related to my YouTube channel that I don't know how to get rid of. And so basically what I did with YouTube is first my TikTok was kind of secretive because it's so different than YouTube that I didn't really want to share it with my YouTube community because I could post different stuff over there. And then I was like, well, maybe I will share it just because it's different. It's kind of fun and a different side of like content that I would make for YouTube. So it is linked there somehow, and I hope it's the right link because I'm very unfamiliar with how TikTok works. I still haven't really figured out the ins and the outs of it. There's so many features, so many buttons that I don't really know what they do. I have learned a lot about YouTube because when I started doing live streams, I had no idea how to work the buttons at all. And I've learned how to work the buttons on a live stream on YouTube. I don't do lives on TikTok. I don't know if I ever will, but it's just kind of a different environment. I'm still learning how to do it, but it's kind of fun. And I feel like I'm more creative on TikTok, which I really love to be creative with making videos. Sometimes I feel like YouTube is, as much as I love it, it just doesn't spark my creativity as much. Maybe I just need to get out and make more forest bathing videos because those are more creative than like the little garden videos. But yeah, sometimes I kind of recycle my content. So I take YouTube type videos and morph it into something more TikTok related. That's what I do. And I have so much fun with it. That is why I do content on TikTok. I don't make money from it. It's just kind of a creative expression of my brain, I guess you can say. So that's it. I talked way too long, but thank you so much for listening, Latin, and the other 3 people that are currently here, or 2 people, I don't know. And there's been many others that have come and gone. There were 22 watching at one time, which is kind of mind-blowing. So I'm gonna go now, and I have this little inspiration in my mind that maybe I'm gonna go forest bathing tonight. I haven't decided fully. I have this little aspiration about wildflowers that are starting to bloom and the ocean, and there is a location with wildflowers and the ocean, and maybe going for a little dip in the water, perhaps. I'm not sure yet. I have these aspirations. I also have a lot of chores I need to do, and I do work in the morning tomorrow, so I have a lot to contemplate. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this lovely evening, afternoon, wherever you are, and we will see you probably on Saturday. It's Thursday today. Saturday is Garden Tour Saturday. I participate with Grandma Sandy. She is my inspiration on YouTube for gardening videos. Longtime follower. I am a huge supporter of Grandma Sandy, and then the other ladies that are huge supporters, Susie in New York, Patricia in the southern states, and Barb Dally Rural Life in Washington State. Lovely, lovely group of ladies that do Garden Tour Saturday. Beware of stranger danger. I hope I'm aware of stranger danger. I don't know. I hope by my age I've figured that out, but who knows. I do have my radar up for strangers. If you're talking about when I go into the woods, yes, I am very cautious. And lately I haven't been going to the remote places that I used to go to as much. I'm going to more populated areas. Not that I don't like the remote areas, but I am very aware of the stranger danger, and I have had some weird experiences, which if you might remember, Latin, some of the stories I've told early in my YouTube days about some of the quote-unquote stranger danger. I don't think I even fully got into one of the stories about the rural experience with my dog years ago. That was stranger danger, but yeah, I've had a wild adventurous life even before YouTube, and in the stranger danger remote areas of my trekking into the wilderness. So yeah, maybe one day I'll talk more about that, but I've been avoiding the rural areas for the most part. I've been going to the more populated places and just trying to make videos when there aren't too many people around. It's safer that way, safer for me. So I don't have a supervisor to take with me to defend me anymore. I have a live stream. I always said that the live stream could be my weapon of defense. If I'm in the wilderness and I have a weird thing happening, I just press the live button and at least it would be recorded for everyone to see. So that's it. Anyways, I need to go now because it's getting late. Bye-bye.